Okay, we're going to do a quick video on construction lines. These are reference lines that are really helpful when adding a piece of hardware to the library. These construction lines are essentially invisible lines that we can reference, that we can lock to the hardware. So, right, Charles, if we just go in and we are going to create a reference line that is right down the middle of the top and the bottom part of the latch.
Okay.
So yeah, we'll first create a sketch and draw a line. Okay, so we now have a line that is going from the very top of the latch to the very bottom of the latch. So what we can do is we can lock that in position first.
Yep.
Using the lock key, and we also need to turn that line into a construction line so it doesn't interfere with any of the cutout information. So that's done by clicking the construction line button up the top there, or it can be done by right-clicking on the actual line itself. When you create these construction lines, the program will often pick up a line of geometry, and as you can see, I believe we've got an extra line at the top in yellow. Now this will currently interfere with cutouts, so we need to make sure that this isn't affecting that, so we can turn that into a construction line, or you can delete it. It doesn't make any odds. So we've just turned it into a construction line so that it's not being picked up by the cutout algorithm. So we've now got one going straight down the middle. We now want a line that is going left to right through the middle of the latch. So first of all, we'll draw a tiny little line between the top and bottom of the latch, and then we'll draw another line coming off the middle of that line. Yeah, so that line, it can be as long or as short as you like. It really doesn't matter. It's just there as a reference point. So what we can now do is turn that into a construction line. And do we also want to lock that one?
Yes.
Yep, so we'll lock that one. And then also the small little line we first drew, we need to make sure that's, so yeah, the first line we drew in the middle.
Yeah, this one. Sorry.
This one needs to be locked and a construction line. Yep.
Yeah.
And as you can see, just below there and above, I believe, we've created two other little bits of geometry that we don't want. So why don't we've turned the top one into a construction line, but you might as well delete the bottom one, just using that one there. So we've now deleted that bottom line. So we should now just have the construction lines. Yep.
Yep.
So we can now use these construction lines to measure from. So if we're doing a cutout rectangle or a series of circles for the drill holes,
yeah,
we can use that construction line when we are measuring their position. And when I say measuring their position, defining the position. So it's quite an easy way we can use that as a reference. So if you want to use the reference point as the middle of the latch, that's fine. You can draw construction lines that sit on the middle of the whole latch, but we've done it here using the top and bottom of the latch and then gone down the middle of that. So in brief, that's construction lines. The main things here are to make sure that when you are creating the construction lines, that you're deleting any of those extra little lines that get created, because you'll soon realize that when you add it to the case, the cutout sketch will often be much larger than it should be. And this is purely because that extra piece of geometry has been picked up and it's making the cutout much bigger. So once they're deleted or turned into construction lines, the only cutouts and holes that appear on the case are the ones you intend.